everyone for joining me today. My name is Alina Steele. I'm here with Harvest Christian Fellowship, and I have the pleasure of talking with Nicole Rolls today from the Frederick Rescue Mission. So thank you, Nicole, for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about what the Frederick Rescue Mission does here in Frederick, Maryland, and just a little bit of everything. So Nicole, why don't you start by just introducing yourself a little bit to everyone, who you are at the Rescue Mission, what you do, maybe how you got started.
Sure. So my name is Nicole Rolls, and I am the Partnership Development Director here at the Mission. So what that really means is that I am in charge of our fundraising, marketing, our volunteer programs, and I oversee our outreach program, which really means that I get to be in touch with people all the time, which I love. I actually grew up here in the neighborhood. I lived just about 5 blocks from the Mission when I was growing up. So when I saw that this position was available, I was really excited to kind of come home and be able to give back in a community that I grew up in. So I'm really excited to be here. I've been here for about 1.5 years. So if you want to have an adventure, change jobs just before a global pandemic, it's the way to do it.
Definitely. I can't imagine what that must have been like, but
yeah.
That's so wonderful to think that you grew up in the neighborhood right here. I know I've been to the Rescue Mission many times and have actually a friend that lives in that neighborhood as well. So like, how wonderful is that?
I would drop my brother and sister off at South Frederick. It's now Franklin Elementary, but it was South Frederick, and I would walk right past here to West Frederick Elementary or West Frederick Middle School. So,
wow, that's so awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about what the Rescue Mission does for the community.
Sure. So the Rescue Mission has a number of programs. We have 6 primary ministries that we're really excited to be able to work with people, not only in Frederick City, but throughout Frederick County. And some folks know about 1 or 2, but I'll give you the quick rundown. Yeah. So here at our South Street location, we have our men's recovery program, and that is a year-long intensive program for folks who are working through substance use disorder or are in recovery. They can be in that program for up to 1 year, and then we also have transitional programs for them for an additional year. And that will house approximately 30 men at a time, and they enter on a rolling basis. So we do that here at the Mission. They live here. This is actually their home. You might see on social media on occasion, particularly during COVID, people without masks on. The residents actually live here together. So this is their home. They eat together. They sleep in dormitories, etc. So when they're with the public, they are definitely masked. But when they're in their living room, they don't have to do that. Yeah. Here at the South Street location, we also have our food ministry. So that includes our Bread of Life Kitchen, which serves breakfast and lunch every day of the year to anyone who is hungry. In the past year, we've had about 250 to 300 people a day who come to us for a meal, 1 or 2 meals. And we're really excited to be able to do that. We do have indoor dining. However, during COVID, that had been closed. We've just recently reopened that at about 1/4 capacity. But throughout the whole COVID experience, we have been able to give meals on a to-go basis. And we're really fortunate. We also get to partner with the Salvation Army and the Community Action Agency. We send meals to the day shelter downtown, as well as to the family sheltering that they do in the hotels. So homeless folks, you don't have to come here to get the meal. We are working with those agencies to make sure people are getting fed. Yeah. So that's really good. We also have our food distribution center. Pre-COVID, that was an area you could come in and hand select the items that you wanted to supplement your groceries. We did pivot to a to-go basis for that as well, so that anyone can come 3 days a week. We're here Tuesday and Wednesday from 1:30 to 3:30, and Thursdays from 2 until 6, and they can get prepackaged bags of groceries. It's enough to really supplement the grocery budget of a family of 4 for about 3 to 4 days. So that really helps a lot. Where our Bread of Life Kitchen is really more of our homeless population, our food distribution center serves more of our working poor or those who've been recently laid off. Um, and this year, we've been really excited to expand our food services. We have the FOOD program. So that is working. It's a mouthful sometimes, but
Right.
that program has been working to get food out into the county.
Mm.
So what that looks like is we were fortunate enough to partner with Frederick County government to, they developed the GIS map. So if you come to the rescuemission.org to our webpage, it'll say need food right at the top of the page, and you can click on that and put in your address, and it will give you every food drop, every food pantry, every church with a food bank that is close to your home. What that means for us is that last year we pushed about 3.5 million pounds of food out into the county. And we're able to do that through a partnership with the Maryland Food Bank. So we take food just about everywhere. We head out to I Believe in Me. We help to support their food needs. We're just all over the county.
Yeah.
And we've been really fortunate to be able to kind of help coordinate that. No one should go to bed hungry ever. So we really wanted to be able to make sure folks had food where they needed it. So those are our food programs.
Yeah.
Here on this campus, we also have rescued treasures, and folks in the community, when they have clothing or accessories or linen items that they no longer need, they can bring them here and donate them. We cull through and keep the best for distribution for free to anyone in the community. Male or female, children through adults. If you need clothing, you can come here. Kids seem to grow out of things so quickly,
Yes.
and we can help to keep them clothed, get them shoes. We do have blankets, tents, sleeping bags for the homeless folks. We're able to do that. We can't take appliances or furniture right now.
Mhm.
But the other really neat thing is if you have, I always joke, if you've been married 20 years, it's time for new towels.
Yeah.
Everybody has that towel you hold up and you're like, oh, all right, it's a little threadbare, but I can use it again.
Yeah.
Bring that to us, and we're not going to redistribute it to the community, but we will recycle it. It'll keep it out of the landfill, which helps with that space. And we'll have it turned into rags or insulation. And so we really work with it that way, which I'm very excited about. And then not on our South Street location, but up at the north end of town, we also have Faith House, which is a 90-day emergency shelter for women and women with children who are experiencing homelessness. We help to get them in, get them safe, and help them to develop a plan forward. And then at the end of the 90 days, they can transition into one of our 11 apartments that we have there for our year-long Faith House Transitional Living Program. And that helps them. They need to be employed. They need to be able to exhibit some budget management to live there. But it's a really great program and really helps them to move towards sustainable housing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all of them. I always like to let folks know that we're here because the community supports what we do.
Mhm.
We don't receive any government funding, and we like that because it allows us to be able to talk to people, get them their immediate needs filled. We call it changing lives now and for eternity. So at any point in time, we can sit and pray with someone, share the gospel with them. You don't have to be a Christian to come to the mission. We'll help everyone,
Right.
but it is an important part of who we are.
Yeah. Yeah. That's an amazing journey. Just all the different things. I'm sure the rescue mission has grown. How many years has the rescue mission been open?
So we are 56 years now. They've been here on South Street since the early 80s. Our South Street location is the old county jail.
Okay.
And our Faith House location is the old city jail. So we like to joke, we're not holding them in anymore. We're setting everybody free.
That's awesome. I love that. That's such a great phrase. So there's a lot of different things going on. Like, who knew the rescue mission did so many different things? Because you go like, oh, food, but food for who? So I love how we can break down just coming to get a meal, just that area of that. And that's anybody that can just walk up, breakfast and lunch, you said, and then having the groceries. I love how you're helping different populations. And some people might go in and out of those populations.
Right.
And that's just wonderful. You're right. No one should go to bed hungry. That's just, that would just be wonderful.
I find that people come to the mission because they have different areas that they're passionate about. And for me personally, food security has been a passion of mine for many, many years. If you are hungry or you're cold or your clothes got wet because it rained, it's really tough to wrap your mind around much else. So if we can help with those immediate needs, then it allows people to be able to address other needs. They can figure out how they're going to pay the electric bill or how they're going to find rent that month or whatever big issue it is that they're dealing with. But they won't have to worry about where their next meal comes from. So I love that.
Yeah, I hear that from a lot of the entrepreneurial people that I tend to follow is if you don't have those basic needs, like if we are hungry, are tired, or don't have clothing, you can't do anything else. Like you cannot function past that. Like we have to fill those basic needs. And Faith House is something that I know has been open for a few years now. I can remember when that began. So at Harvest, for those who don't know that we donate, we tithe off of our tithes, here at church, and we donate to the Frederick Rescue Mission is one of the 13 that we give to every single month faithfully, because we love what you're doing and we love that it's inside the community that we're in as well. So I remember when we were raising money for Faith House specifically to open, just because of the women in need, for the women by themselves and then women with children, especially, like where are we supposed to go? And so talk to me just a little bit more about Faith House, because I know that you have programs instead. It's not just housing. Like you said, they have to exhibit some budgeting and things like that. And you're doing childcare and you guys are doing classes and things like that. So tell everyone just a little bit more about that.
So Faith House, it's two distinct programs, and we will be celebrating Faith House's 5th anniversary in December. So the 90-day emergency shelter will be 5 years old in December. And then during COVID, we actually opened the transitional living. So we actually purchased or were able to purchase an apartment building that was adjacent to our emergency shelter and had it renovated. And so it was 12 apartments. We use one of those as an office and community room and laundry facility for everyone that lives there. And then the other apartments are there so that women with children get an apartment on their own. Kitchen, living room, 2 bedrooms, kids can sleep in bunk beds. So it allows them to kind of grow as a family unit. They have a little more autonomy, but they do still attend a weekly devotion. They're still working with a case manager and a program specialist to make sure that they're on track with their goals. I love that we come alongside them where they are. We're not dictating who they need to be or what path they need to take. And I think that's really important. Prior to moving into that transitional living program, they can stay in the 90-day shelter for up to 90 days. And at the discretion of the director, if they are, right on the cusp of being financially able to move into transitional living, she can extend them 2 weeks at a time. But that really looks like getting women safe and allowing them to experience some peace and some calm. And that's, that can take a while. 90 days goes by really fast, but in those first 30 days, they are developing a plan. They are safe and secure. Their children are safe and secure. They can decompress a little. Women come to us from all sorts of backgrounds, human trafficking, domestic violence, homelessness. I love, Terry does this thing. Terry is our Faith House director. Every time a woman comes home to Faith House, the doors, it's a secure facility, so the doors are always locked. There's always someone there to open the door and greet them and say, welcome home. We're so glad you're back.
Aww.
For many of these women, they've never had anybody be excited that they were coming home. So I think that I watched that happen the first few times when I first started here. And I was like, that's really kind of interesting. And the women love it. And, they need to know that they're special and we're excited that they're there. So it's a really neat place. Once they get through that first 30 days, we do help them to get their resume together, get any services that they may be eligible for, and then they get a job and they're out working. The 90-day residents do attend a daily devotional time, and they really kind of develop this sisterhood. It really is like a family.
Yeah. Oh, that's so wonderful. love the idea of someone saying welcome home every day. I mean, just for all of us, there's, that just touches my heart a lot to think that like, oh, people, when I leave and I come home, someone's excited, like when my kids were super little, I was like, mom's home, and what a joy that must be.
Yes.
I love that somebody thought of that. So
yeah. Terry's fantastic. So
before we talk about volunteering and maybe donations and things like that, is there anything else that you want to highlight to us? I know right now we're having this interview in April 2021 and kind of maybe out. I would love to say that COVID ends at some point this year. Like who knows when we're going to be, rewatching this, but we're coming out of COVID, and I know that that's brought some maybe different challenges or something different that, like you said, a lot of to-go meals, like if you were serving things on plates and dishware, like all the to-go containers. So I just wanted to give you an opportunity is there anything else that's happening now that doesn't usually happen that you'd like to highlight?
yeah, so that's a really great point. When we had to pivot to doing food on a takeaway basis, there was a big change, and there has been a financial impact of that. We use regular takeout boxes to pack all the meals in.
Yeah.
And we have had to transition away from the styrofoam. There was a law that changed that we did that. It's about $1,400 a week that we are spending on to-go containers. And we've been really blessed. We've had many very generous people come forward and help to cover that expense. And many of the local, the United Way, the Community Action Agents, or not Community Action, I'm sorry, the Community Foundation, the Osherman Foundation, the Sereni Foundation, they've all stepped up. The Delaplane, we could not have continued to serve meals at the rate we did without their support. They've really been fantastic. So the community really kind of rallied around us. That's an expense that is new to our budget, and it's a significant one each year. So I always let folks know the mission, as I said earlier, we're here because the community wants us to be here. We do, of course, always accept financial donations. We accept the donations of clothing. You can, sometimes we're able, I always tell folks we can, of course, always take non-perishable foods. I do let people know that we have a relationship with the Maryland Food Bank, and they are able to get us food at a drastically reduced rate. So oftentimes $20 donated can go a lot further than $20 from a grocery store.
Yeah.
That's, I never realized that before I worked here. I was like, well, I'll just grab a couple extra cans of peas and throw them in there.
Right.
We could get 3 cans of peas for the price of 1 at a grocery store. So that's a little different. We do operate on volunteers. The mission in normal times has 40 to 50 volunteers a day who come here, work with our guests, prepare the meals, answer our phones at our front desk. They really are such an integral part to the mission. So if you are someone who has 2 to 4 hours a week that you want to give back, please reach out to the mission. Carolyn Chandler is our volunteer manager, and she can help get you in the right area, help to get your orientation done. We are reopening our doors to guests and volunteers a little bit more each day. So right now we're at about half capacity on volunteers, but we certainly can still use more people. So yeah, it's kind of every day is a little different. You're never really sure what COVID's going to do, but I think what's really important is people know they can come here and they'll be served. We'll answer the door, we'll answer the phone, we'll get them a meal. And to me, that's the most important part, that the community has a place where they know they can get a connection.
Well, definitely having your doors open for that many decades, you can, that's very apparent that no one, no good business, stays in business without community support, whether that's a restaurant because people are going and eating food, or that's a nonprofit that is being supported. So if you're watching this video, wherever the description is, if you're on YouTube, it's below, and Facebook, it's probably above you. But we have contact information so that you can hop on the website, make a donation, walk up and knock on the door. Like, they're always there. I do that every once in a while. I'm like, instead of going to Goodwill, I'm going to pass up Goodwill and I'm going to bring, some of those nicer clothes, especially as my kids grow out of clothes or shoes or snow boots or jackets, just all of those different things.
Yeah.
And I did know that, well, because I've been at the rescue mission so many times, but I never buy groceries there. I always bring money and going, okay, well, if I had $5 today that I was going to spend, I'm going to put that aside and I'm going to, you can make donations online. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can take it off the door, and because I know that like you said, my $5 will probably get you $15 or $20 worth of groceries from the food bank. So that's just really easy. You guys are super easy. And I love the people that take the clothing and stuff like that. They're always super jolly and helpful. Like, let me come and get that out of your car. It's super wonderful.
Good. Yeah. And it's so my primary responsibility when I came to the mission was to do fundraising. And I always let folks know a $5 gift, a $20 gift a month, whatever. Oh, are we okay? Yeah. All right, here we go. Sorry about that. So I always like to let folks know that the gift that's comfortable for you can make a huge difference. And we have some folks who will come in and set up a recurring gift so that every month it just charges their credit card. You'd be amazed what $20 a month or $30 a month or $50 a month will do.
Right.
And it's really neat to me to see the number of people who they all want to do something in their community. And when they have confidence in us that if they support our work, they know that work is being done. Mm-hmm. The other thing I do, two things real quick. I want to make sure folks know you can follow the mission on all sorts of social media. So we're on Facebook, on Instagram, we're on Twitter, and we're on LinkedIn. And we chose those 4 avenues specifically so that we could reach people in the community who wanted to help other folks in the community. And we did all of those platforms because if you're someone who's in need, or if you know someone in need, it's a great place to get information. We post weekly when our food distribution center is open, when meals are being served. We try to make sure the information's out there for folks who want to support the work and folks who need to utilize what our programs are. I also like to make sure people know there are so many people right now who had no idea they would ever be without a job or be working part-time or just not able to make ends meet. So this is a judgment-free zone. If you have a need, please come to us. And if we can't serve that need right here, we have an amazing front desk staff and they have a 3-inch thick binder. You need help with housing, they can give you the resources for that. If you need help with an electric bill or you're having trouble with some other issue, we can typically get you a resource and get you pointed in the right direction. I always tell folks, my husband and I were both out of work for 3 years, simultaneously out of work for 3 years. We had no idea where to go. We never thought that we would be out of work. I got really good at making a Cornish game hen last for 3 days as a meal. So just being a resource to people who know where they can go to get the information is really important to me.
Yeah, that's really wonderful. I love the no judgment zone. Yeah, I think a lot of it's really good to say because it's not the assumption that most people make. Most people don't reach out for help because they assume that they're going to be judged. And maybe that's part of the world that we live in, but definitely not at the rescue mission. And it's heartwarming. It really, really is. Yeah. So I can definitely hear your passion and your love for everything. You're going to say something else.
I just wanted to, not only is it a no judgment zone, you don't need identification to come to the mission. We are not interested in your status as far as immigration. That's not our role. Our role is to get you food, get you clothing, and get you closer to a solution for whatever your particular issue is. So I always like to let folks know, if you have a need, please come, because you don't, we used to in the past, we just, in order to keep records and whatnot for our food distribution, you had to show an ID. It could be a library card. We didn't care what it was, just so we knew who was coming through. COVID's changed that. people have needs they never thought they would have before. So we really want people to come and just know all you're going to get here is a good meal and some love, and that's it. So yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well,
Yeah.
thank you again so much for being on here. Like I said, just your love and your passion really comes through, and I'm super excited for a lot of people to see this, learn more about the rescue mission, and reach out and help or donate or volunteer their time or share this message with somebody else or comment below or post it to your Facebook page, or even just sharing the YouTube link and things like that. Like, even if the only thing you can do is share the information today with somebody else, that always helps as well. So
Yes.
yeah, thank you to everyone who's watching with us. We're super excited to share. Harvest is super excited to share Rescue Mission with everyone. And if you have any questions, put those in the comments below. You can reach out to either Rescue Mission or Harvest Christian Fellowship. We'd be happy to answer any questions and point you in the right direction. So have a really great rest of your day.
Yes. And thank you. Please, also, the final thing I would request is keep the rescue mission in your prayers. They mean so much to us. And if you can share and pray for us, we would really appreciate that.
Yes, wonderful.
Awesome.